This is our 5th rendezvous. And the first rendezvous was really, we called it a rendezvous, but it was more of a gathering of Hinckleys. What we did is we came out to Nantucket for race week when we brought a couple of Hinckleys with us. When we got here, we dialed up all of the Hinckley owners who live on Nantucket and begged them to move their boats so that we can line them up in the boat basin. And when they said yes, then we went to George Bassett, who is the dockmaster here at the boat basin, and begged him even harder to be able to shuffle boats around to put them all together. So we had 8 Hinckleys all together, called it a rendezvous. We took out a couple of card tables and a few bottles of rum and served drinks on the dock and had a great night, and that was the first Hinckley rendezvous. The genesis was from them wanting to be with other Hinckley owners. That was the goal. And so for the last 4 years, it's just gotten better and better, and this year is just fantastic. We added a 4th day at the Great Harbor Yacht Club, and we had Tom Whidden come and speak and give us a little bit of a history of the America's Cup, and it was just, you know, fantastic. Now, the weather wasn't great for the first few nights. You know, we kind of paid our dues for today, and it's just spectacular.
Well, this is our first Hinckley. We've been in boating, sailing. We primarily were sailboat racers for years, and then got into a little bit of a powerboat thing, and eventually finally came home to Hinckley, which has been a remarkably good experience for us. Hinckley, as long as we've been boating, you know, the common thing is to say, a Hinckley pulls into a harbor, you know, it's a quarter mile away, but it sparkles. It's really a special boat, special design, and we've always admired those. I love being on the boat at Fisher Island and in the marina and have people walk by and stop and say, golly, what a great looking boat. And I said, yes, it is, isn't it?
We used to have a small 30-foot boat, cabin cruiser. We cruised around with my kids when they were little. And I went on the website and said, I want a Hinckley. And I loved the look of the boat. It was just fabulous. And I went, and we were in Rhode Island, and the broker at the time said, Beverly, you don't want a used Hinckley, you want to build your own Hinckley. And I did. So we have different boating. When my husband and I want a boat, just the 2 of us, we take the 44. When we want to go with either the daughter or my son and their spouses, then we take the 55.
We owned a little harbor before the Hinckleys, so we've been friends of Portsmouth for 15 years. And prior to that, we had other kinds of boats, but we got into the little harbor because a friend of ours had a little harbor, invited my wife onto the little harbor. She loved it, and we bought it. We put the boats in the water in April and May, and we keep them in until November, and we're on those boats 90 days a year. And we are all over the place. We go from Maine to New York, and we're in the islands, and we're out here in Nantucket all the time. We stay on the 44 a lot. We live on it. And we use the 29 to get up on a beach and enjoy the sunshine and scoot around to go out to lunch or have a wine cruise. You know, I'm a boat captain. I've had my captain's license for a lot of years. So I've been driving a lot of boats, prop boats, sailboats, all kinds of boats. And I love the Hinckley boats because not only are they reliable, but they have that 24/7 service call. If anything goes wrong, you have any questions, you get on that 800 number and there's somebody on the other end that can answer any question. I also like crawling around in the engines and doing all that kind of stuff. Because out on the ocean, you have to be your own doctor, your own dentist, your own mechanic, and I want to know everything that's going on. So I've been an assistant to Oscar in Portsmouth, learning the electronics, an assistant to Keith, learning the way you dress the boats, an assistant to all the mechanics, doing everything I can to figure out exactly how those boats work. Because if I'm out 30 miles offshore and something goes wrong, I want to know how it works. But unfortunately, nothing breaks.
I purchased a Bermuda 40 yawl, a 1968 model from the original owner in 2006. I'd been chasing that boat for 6 years. The gentleman, his name was Donald, he bought her, I think it was the fall of 1968, literally the day after he sold his company and retired. He kept her for 39 years and promised his wife when he turned 80 he would sell the boat. So I caught up with him when he was around 75. And every year he would say to me, next year, Nick, next year I'll sell you the boat. But he kept going and going and going. And finally, when he got to 80, he even got one more season out of it, because I think he turned 80 in maybe March, but he got one more summer out of it. He finally let go of her and he let me buy her. And she was a beautiful, she is a beautiful boat, but being 40 years old, she needed some cosmetic upgrades. So I embarked on this restoration. And this is what prompted me to write this coffee table book on Hinckley yachts. This is actually the boat here on the cover. Her name is Jilpin. You can buy a boat for a fraction probably of the cost of a Hinckley, but you don't see what's inside it. And so when I took this boat apart, I was able to see firsthand what's inside it and just how well built this boat is. So that prompted me to write this book, to tell this boat's story. And as I began to do research, realized there's no book on Hinckley yachts. And it's such a special company, such a special brand. People are so passionate about this company, as am I. I think there's many goodwill ambassadors out there for Hinckley yachts. They don't work for the company, they just love this brand. So I began writing this book, and here we are today. It's going to be published in April by Rizzoli International. Very happy about it.
I have 100 people at dinner tonight, and it is going to be a blast. I guarantee when people leave the event and dinner tonight, they'll leave with a smile on their face. They'll come back next year. They'll tell other owners. They'll really enjoy the new friends they've met and the old friends that they've met over the last few years. And it's just going to get better and better.
Well, I bought the second boat for my wife for her 50th birthday. Got to do it.